Hello, everyone. This time is domain from the graph. Okay, find the domain from the graph. Okay, as we reviewed before, that to find the domain from the graph, it needs more analysis. Okay, you need more analysis. So here we go. We're going to find a domain from this first number here. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do here is uh, this graph is U shape. Okay, so I want to make a border here. I want to make a border from here to there. So you can find, remember that this is a border method, right? Because how do I know it's border method? Because there's the beginning going to up and there's an end. So this border here, that's my border. So now I need to find out the left, from left to right. Okay, remember, domain is x. Okay, so the value must have x. So I'm going to start from this number here. From this number here. I'm going to start from this number. This is what? 1, 2. That's negative 2. 1, 2, negative 2, comma, negative 2. So this is, this number here, it's negative 2. It doesn't work like that way. So let's write this way here. So this point here is uh, negative 2, comma, negative 2. Okay? So that part there is negative 2 comma negative 2. And the next part here, so starting from there, it went up, going up to the highest point. That's what? 0 and 2. So that part there, the very top there is going to be, uh, let's move this on the top. And 2. Let's write it on the top so you won't. Okay. That's 0 comma 2. So that part there is 0 comma 2, the highest part of that graph. And then went down to the right. And this part here is 2 comma negative 2. So this part here is 2 comma negative 2. So now, so we already found the extreme numbers. So my domain here right now, if I'm going to look at this, is from left to right, like the distance. So this distance here is my domain from here to here. Okay, from here to here. So my numbers there are gonna be these numbers here. These numbers here. It's negative 2 to 2 and x. So I'm going to write here from negative 2 and 2 and x, because that's from distance to this distance. That's my domain. So my number, my answer here is going to be this number here. So this is going to be my answer. That's my domain. From negative 2 until 2. Now, if I'm going to look at the range, if you notice, the left and the right has the same number, because they start and end on the same point, the same y. So my lowest part here is going to be negative 2, but I'm going to use the letter y because that's my range, and my highest part here is positive 2. So my answer for this is going to be negative 2 y less than equal to positive 2. So that's my answer for that. Okay, again, domain is from left to right, the distance. Range is your height from bottom, which is the same, up. Okay, so that's the domain and range for that graph, question number one. Let's go on with question number two. Now, this question number two is interesting, no? Because there's no border. This is like continuation, continuity. The arrow on the left and arrow on the right. Okay, here we go. Let's look at here. So on the left side, I'm going to look at this infinity. Where can I find the infinity mark here? All right. I don't have infinity. No, I don't have, it's continuous. All real number. I don't have infinity. Hmm. Interesting. Nope. No infinity there. So I'm gonna write here. I'm gonna write infinity to the left. That's my domain on the left side. On my right side, infinity positive. Why positive? Because it's on the right side. This one is on the left side. That's why infinity negative. Now I'm going to look at my y. So I'm going to change color. Let's change color. So my y here going up, my y is positive. So comma, my y is positive. Okay, infinity. And the bottom here, my y here is negative. So comma, y negative. Now, so we identify the extreme value of this line here. So now I'm going to look at here. So let's see. Is there a choice like that? All real numbers. Okay, that's all real numbers. So let's look at the domain first. The domain first is from negative infinity to positive infinity. It means continuous. There's no stop. So the other way to say that is all real numbers. So this information here. And then on the range, okay, on the range from bottom up, this is also all real numbers. So if you see like an arrow mark like this, you expect that your most of your answer will have all real number. Okay. All right. Let's do question number 3. So this one, this saying a similar. Okay. There's an end, but there's a continuous here. Okay. Now let's start the extremes. So let me start with this point first. This is 1, 2. That's gonna be -2. So this is gonna be -2, comma 0. So this point here is -2 comma 0. But again, this is open circle. We need to know that open circle tells us that it can be written as greater than, like that. Okay, greater than, either greater than or less than, but this is greater than. Now let's look at the arrow mark here. My x here is a positive, so my infinity here is a positive. My y here is a positive, so my infinity here y infinity is also a positive. Okay, now let's find the domain. The domain, it's starting from here, from this number. Okay, the domain is start from that number, which is I can write y equals, oh no, my bad, x is greater than -2. That's my domain. This is my domain. Okay, how do I know? Because my graph starts from -2 and continues going to the right. To the right is positive. So I meant by positive, my infinity is positive. So that's why this is greater than, going big. Now my range, okay, is from this number here. My range is from y. I'll put 0. How do I know it's 0? Because my points here are 0. At this point is 0. And this range, eh, eh, went up. Went up. How do I know it's went up? Because my infinity is positive. So this is also greater than. Okay. So that's how you find out the grade. Again, looks confusing because of the open circle and then an arrow mark. Okay. Now let's look at the different graph here. Now this one here has an, like I said, an endpoint. Okay. So this question number 4, if I'm gonna find the domain, I need to make a border line here. Border. It means from there to there. Okay. Okay. Here we go. The left side is closed circle. This is negative 2 and 2. The left side is negative 2 and 2. Okay. The right side is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 4, comma 2. So I need to know that. Okay. 4, comma 2, that point there, no? And the bottom here, the bottom, you need to identify that bottom too, which is, this is 1 and 1, 2. 1, comma, negative 2. Now, we'll find the domain. Okay, the domain is left and right. Remember the distance of this graph. So I'm going to look at this number here and this number here. Okay, that's the domain. So my domain here is from negative 2 less than or equal to x but less than 4. Okay, I want to make sure you understand why it's less than or equal, because it's closed circle and this one here is open circle. Now my y is going to be from the bottom, which is this number here, negative 2. So negative 2, that's close, less than or equal to y, less than or equal to, even though we have open here and the circle here, but this is more dominant than that. It means they are on the same line. So this is going to be the number, it's 2. So that's the range of this graph. I hope you understand. Thank you.